what it means to you.
It's kind of a long story. You know I can give a long story, so I'll try to shorten it up. You know, I was here with Coach Valvano and Coach Allen. We were, you know, I was here as an assistant with Coach Tanner when Coach Valvano was the AD and basketball coach, and Coach Allen. Got to know him that way, and actually Coach Valvano was very instrumental in me taking my first head coaching job. Him and Coach Esposito were probably the reason I took my first head coaching job at New Mexico State. And those two people were beyond special to me. And Coach Yao, with all my blemishes and all my faults, Coach Yao and all her greatness and how awesome a person she was, I was always one of her favorite people. We were really close and went to a lot of her games. So, and I don't know how much more I got left here at this university. I felt like I spent most of my life here, either as a student or assistant coach or a coach or a fan. I've been a fan of NC State since I knew what a sport was, and I was probably 5 years old or 6 years old, and so I feel like my whole life has been at NC State. And whenever I leave here, I don't want to leave here and ever be remembered for anything but baseball. I would like for something else to happen, because as great a basketball coach as Coach Allen and Coach Valvano were, and they were great coaches, the thing they were remembered for across the country is, you know, Jimmy V and that great speech and what he's done creating dollars for research for cancer. And Coach Yao, what she's done for women's cancer, that play for K game is still one of my favorite events. I was telling the other night, I was talking about my favorite thing about the play for game. I don't even kind of watch the game. The game's just kind of, you know, the halftime is what that game is all about. And then everybody across the country is playing a game for cancer. And I'm not doing this to let it reach the heights that those two things have reached. But as I think about when I'm going to leave here, I do want to leave something that's outside of the realm of baseball. And, you know, Jimmy, he kind of tackled all of cancer. And Coach Al, she tackled all of, you know, women's cancer and the research they do for that. I was talking to Jenny Palmatier the other night, and she's the head of the KL Foundation. They give so many research grants. But I have a nephew that's affected by brain tumor cancer, and he's 8 years old. And I watch what he's going through as I go to Duke and see all the great things those doctors and research people and how he's treated. I know there are thousands of kids out there across the country. And so I talked to Trey Turner, and he and his wife, Kristen, who was a gymnast here, they wanted to do something, a fund. And they were really touched by Jimmy V when they came to play here. And they were watching Jimmy V's speech one night and figuring out what they were going to do. And they said, this is it right here. It's childhood cancer. We're going to go childhood cancer. So I talked to Trey, and I thought, wow, if I could tie in children's cancer, and my nephew made me think about it first, and then that goes to Trey and Kristen's fund, and they funnel their dollars through the Jimmy V Foundation, and then you have K. Yao. It's almost like it ties everybody together, and I thought that's it. And put this thing together kind of quickly, but so many people have reached out and helped. Trey's agent has been unbelievable. He's flying in. Jennifer Brazil, who's been awesome. She's done a lot of work. She's coming in. Trey's mom and daddy are coming in. Trey's wife's coming in, and the kids, and Kristen's, his wife's mother is coming down. So all these people are coming here this weekend, and this is going to be the first annual. And if it grows the way Coach Al's did, that would be wonderful. But if we can create dollars, I do believe, I think everybody, children, like cancer is all diseases are awful. Alzheimer's, ALS has affected baseball and me personally with Chris Combs. And we play the ALS game. They got a big one tonight in Fenway Park with Virginia and Boston College. But so all diseases are awful. You know, whether if you're 80 years old or 60 years old, when you hear the word cancer, it's just a cringe. But for a child, because the children are our future, and we owe them something. And I got probably 100 pictures on my phone right now because we're going to have children here on the field. And I've got 100 pictures that we're going to flash on the scoreboard, and they're shooting out stuff now to try to draw awareness of this game. Like I say, we put it together very quickly because I wanted to get this thing started, and the money that has come in so far has been amazing. I think we may be at, I don't know, $75,000 or $80,000 already, and the monies that have come in, and I think this thing can be really big. But one day I'd like to look up and see this game raise whatever money, knowing that money is going to research for the great doctors in places like, you know, all throughout the country, and what St. Jude's has done and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to think we could do something here in a community where Coach Yao and Coach Valvano are the two of the biggest legends that ever walked on this campus, and what they have done for cancer maybe as great as any two people out there, to allow these researchers and doctors to find cures and find tests and do things that give these kids hope that they're going to grow up and live a life like we've all lived. So we got it started. I'm really excited about it. And anyway, it's just, that's kind of how it came about. And it came about quickly.
You had two players that contributed to this. Obviously, it goes lockstep with Jim Valvano. And to have this legacy at NC State, but also to have them start kind of their own within that scope, what does it mean to you to recruit young men like that want to be a part of the solution?
That's really funny. You asked that question, Rob. I just left the luncheon at the Medios, which ties into everything. Medios is symbolic of, you know, that and the players retreat. They kind of, if you're me and Chip and Tony Haynes, we've been to those places forever. And I had many a luncheon with Jimmy V at the Medios, and I just left there. And one of the fans of NC State that I was with, before I left, he grabbed me and I said, I got to get going. I got to go do an interview, and we got practice. And he said, let me tell you one thing. I sat with your players at the NIL event. I think he said it was Evan Justice and maybe Pat Bailey. I can't remember exactly who he said he sat with. And your players are so representative of what we want this program to be, why we're NC State fans. And they're so respectful and nice, and they seem so connected to the program still, and they do. Like Trey, I texted him the other night, I think he got National League Player of the Week or something. I texted him, and his immediate response was, great job against Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they all follow. I talked to Carlos the other day, 45 minutes as he rode into Yankee Stadium for a workout, and talked to Carlos, and they all keep up. Every player's connected that I coached, or Ray Tanner coached, or Coach Esposito coached. They're all still connected with this program. And so, yeah, our players, I didn't ask Pat Bailey, I didn't ask, you know, those guys to give back for Trey's charity. But I think next year, when I have more time to work on this, maybe we'll get a committee. Anybody who thinks this is a great cause, they'd like to help serve on that committee, I think we can go out and make this a real special thing for people that Trey has touched. Trey and Kristen, this was kind of their idea before it was my idea. And but anyway, I think this is going to be something special. I'm looking forward to Sunday and seeing some of those kids with the pictures I got on my phone that's going to be flashing on the scoreboard, see them out there interacting with our players, because like the guy told me a while ago, Leon said, Coach, your players are so respectful and so proud that they played here. And in a world of transfers right now and the allure of NIL and all the things in college athletics that are going on right now, it's neat that our players have that love of this place. And it's kind of neat that Trey and Kristen could have picked any cause that they could give to or create. And they picked cancer because of Jimmy V, because when they were here, that's what they heard all the time was Jimmy V, and so it touched them. A guy from Florida and a young lady from New Jersey. It touched them to want to be a part of NC State and the Jimmy V Foundation, and I think this is so special.
What does it say about the culture of this program and NC State overall that y'all were able to get this organized so quickly? The enthusiasm is, okay, this is the enthusiasm for the cause. Like, hey, let's get this organized. Let's get this game going.
Good people that have worked on this thing. I mean, there's Kyle Toot, Kyle Winchester from Wolfpack Sports Properties, Megan Johnston she works tirelessly, and she helped Brooke Johnston. There's so many people, Justin List, so many people that I called a meeting together. And I said, hey, this is what I want to do. And we got a short period of time, but I want to get it started. Because getting something started is the initial thing. I remember when Coach Al started hers, I remember when she started hers. And that first year was unbelievable. But then keeping it going at times was a challenge. And so there's going to be, we got the initial thing started, but I think we're going to get so many people that want to be involved with this, that this will be something that will, I hope we'll all look up 10 years from here. I hope we're all still here 10 years from here, but I hope we'll all look up and see. God, I remember when that started, isn't this kind of neat, isn't this kind of cool? And to think you're doing something for children, because I know, every time I see a little child, I think it's what, I don't know, it just makes me smile. Every time I see them, and to see some that have to go through some of the things they go through, and I know my own nephew, as I watch him go through these things, he's the same kid that I met before cancer invaded his life. He's the same kid. He's got that same smile. He's got that same energy. I don't even think he knows what he's battling right now. And so anytime we can create research dollars that's going to make somebody's life a little better and a little easier, I think this is going to be really special in years to come.
What do you think? What do you think that his parents are thinking about what you're doing?
Oh God, I know what they're thinking about me. I talked to his mom this morning. I talked to his dad last night, and they're just so excited. Matter of fact, they're having a golf tournament today at Durham. Like I said, they're raising Duke Children's Hospital, I think, and Jimmy's got a wing there. I used to take my players over to Duke Hospital to that wing that Jimmy's got over there. I think Dale Earnhardt's got a wing, Jimmy V, there's several, and I used to take our players over there so they can understand what life is really all about, and there's different things that I do with our players that I want them to understand, like we always run with the military on Veterans Day, because they create a life for us all that sometimes we overlook and take for granted. And so I've taken players over to Duke several times, and Duke is having something this weekend. I think they're having a golf tournament today for pediatric cancer, childhood cancer, and tomorrow they're having a run, which my wife's going to run in at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're having this big run where they're going to have tons of runners, and that's going to brain tumor cancer. And I think they're hoping to raise $2 million. And so I'm fired up to think about what this can become in years to come, and can we make a child's life a little better and make that smile come on their face a little more often, because they have to deal with things that kind of break your heart.
Your nephew's name is, what is his first name?
Shane.
Shane? Shane, okay.
And you mentioned the halftime we play for K, which I believe is the greatest tradition NC State has.
It's unbelievable.
I would like for you to allow yourself to dream. What would it be like for childhood cancer survivors to fill the field with them?
It'd be what I want, Robert. It's what I want this to be. Like I said, when I leave here, and I don't know when that is, but y'all know I've been there a long time. I don't think I'm just a caretaker of the NC State baseball program, the same as Coach Esposito, who I felt like built this program into what it is today. And then Coach Tanner, we know what a magnificent job he did. And I've just been so fortunate to be a caretaker of such a wonderful tradition for the last 28 years. And so I know I'm leaving soon. I don't know what it is. Next year, this year, 3 years from now. I got 3 years of my contract, but it ain't about a contract. It's about when it's time to pass that torch on to somebody else, and I'll figure out when that is. And so, Rob, yes, when I pass that torch on, I don't ever want to bump into anybody in the grocery store or down at the beach or wherever and talk baseball. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about this game and what it would be like to see kids feel this thing and to hear stories where there was a new cure for this type of cancer, leukemia, or brain tumor. Something was invented to make a person's life better. And so that's what I'm going to be about, I know, in the next stage of my life, because I think this is all way more important than what we think we do every day.
Anything else for Coach?
I thought you would ask something the same time Charlie was. Or...
I just want Shane to Shane to nephew's name. Yeah.
Thank you all for being